Hello, Aaronite, God is Love, and I'm Nigel Winters, bringing you interesting news in TV, video games, and movies from last week and this week and many other weeks. Let's do this! So I want to say a big shout out, thanks to Chris for filling in for me last week. I was just really overloaded with a ton of essays and finals, and life was just a little hectic, and that's also why my video is late this week, but I am doing it because you guys are important to us. And I want to make sure you guys know that you are important to us, and I want to make sure you knew interesting things from the news. So as you guys know, the new Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, is coming out in just a couple days. I'm excited for it, but did you know that Gwendolyn Christie plays Captain Phasma? Captain Phasma is the really cool looking stormtrooper with like the chrome armor and everything, and you might know Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones because she played Lady Brienne of Tarth. It turns out that when the script was being looked over, the new scriptwriters noticed that there wasn't a lot of gender diversity in the cast, and so they said, you know, we want Gwendolyn Christie. Let's have her playing Captain Phasma, who is apparently an important character. So, yay, gender inclusivity, because how is that not already a thing that should be happening? So, Netflix's head of acquisition, Ted Sarandos, was asked at the UBS conference how he felt that Netflix's show Narcos was the #2 watched program in the country, just behind Game of Thrones. He said he was very proud, and that the internal numbers at Netflix suggest that Narcos is actually ahead of Game of Thrones. How could this be? Well, outside agencies trying to see and measure how people are watching what becomes difficult when you are trying to view Netflix shows, because you can't really measure Netflix viewer ratings the same as you would a normal cable show, because Netflix, you have like the entire season there, or like the entire show there. While for traditional cable shows, you can do it like per episode. But they said that when you take into account all the different devices in which people are watching their shows on, then their show Narcos comes ahead of HBO. This is a little surprising to me, because I would not have expected that. I've personally never seen Narcos. I can assume what it's about. I have seen Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is awesome. It would be hard to top Game of Thrones. So there's a new free-to-play Marvel mobile game called Marvel Avengers Academy, where basically you can play as the Avengers, but they're teenagers at a school and they have to deal with like high school drama and everything, and it's just really depressing sounding. I'm really just not looking forward to it because I don't want to play as the Avengers as kids. I don't know, that just doesn't sound appealing to me. As some of you might have heard, Minecraft is on the Wii U. Except that's not good news, because they're not doing anything with the gamepad. That's ridiculous. How could you release a game like Minecraft for the Wii U and not use the gamepad? The gamepad, the screen is basically just a mirror of the screen, or if someone is using the TV, it's the second screen play. But still, when the Wii U came out, one of the first things everyone was saying was imagine Minecraft on this, because the screen could be your like inventory or a bunch of other menu stuff. Or just like where you would put your blocks or like do crafting. I mean, Minecraft had so many possibilities that they could be doing, but they're not. It's Mojang who's making it, and sure, Mojang is bought out by Microsoft, and so you might be thinking, oh, Microsoft is just trying to make sure that their consoles have the best version. But for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure you already do know, Minecraft was originally coded in Java, and coded poorly, let me tell you. But it was originally made in Java, so to be on any other system, it has to be ported into code which can be natively compiled for that system, because basically every other gaming system does not have Java. And if you're going to have to remake the game anyway, you could just go ahead and add those extra features. And finally, Sega has announced that their profit projections are 90% wrong, and they are attesting to the fact that the Pachinko machines did not sell especially well this year, and they have longer development costs because the gaming market in Japan, Sega has said, has become increasingly competitive, and so they have to put more time into their games. This comes on the wind of Sega already apologizing for the lack of quality in some of their games in the last couple of years. This is actually kind of good news if Sega has realized that they need to put more effort into their games. If you've played a Sonic game in like the last decade and a half, you'll know they need to put more effort into it. They need to put more time into it, because the Sega games for Sonic are just really not good. And that's really sad because Sonic was awesome. He gotta go fast. And then you go fast. I mean, how's that not a winning formula? Anyway, that's some of the news from last week in terms of TV, video games, and movies. I'm Nigel Winters. I hope you all have a lovely week. And it is approaching week 3 of Advent, which means Christmas is almost here. Ajay Kwarajas.